The situation exploded after the duel Miami was deemed an unauthorized event by the PGA Tour, prompting Wesley Bryan to publicly respond by saying he respected the Tour's authority but believed the rules were ambiguous and never intended to cover YouTube content creation, adding that as a PGA Tour member he planned to appeal the decision. What initially looked like a harmless influencer-style match play event filled with cameras, bright graphics, and a reality show atmosphere quickly became a flashpoint. Behind the casual presentation, the event reportedly had backing from LA Golf, which immediately raised concerns. Bryan, a fan favorite known for blending professional golf with online content, appeared as one of the event's main faces, teeing it up in Miami alongside social media golfers and players linked to LA Golf, seemingly unaware it would trigger serious backlash. According to multiple reports, including Reuters, the PGA Tour acted swiftly, labeling the event unsanctioned and viewing it as a potential violation of tour regulations that require approval for outside appearances, particularly when those events are connected to rival organizations like LIV Golf. The Tour's position was clear. Whether it's a formal competition or a YouTube collaboration, LIV-affiliated involvement crosses a line. Bryan, known for his relaxed demeanor and transparency, made no attempt to hide his participation, instead arguing that the controversy exposed a growing tension between modern golf content creation and the Tour's traditional regulatory framework. The entire event was documented online with drone shots, mixed-up banter, and behind-the-scenes footage that spread rapidly across golf social media, turning what began as a lighthearted project into a headline-grabbing moment that had the entire golf world talking. Social media moved faster than a Rory McIlroy drive, and according to golf.com, the match was already gaining traction online before any official decision was made. Once reports emerged that the PGA Tour had taken action, the reaction exploded. What made the backlash hit harder was that Wesley Bryan wasn't chasing prize money or jumping tours, he was simply participating in an event that, on the surface, looked like casual fun. Yet in today's tense PGA Tour versus LIV Golf environment, even a minor association can carry serious consequences. In Bryan's case, reports indicate those consequences became official in the form of a PGA Tour suspension. The Tour reportedly didn't hesitate, issuing its decision only days after the duel Miami was posted online, before the social media storm had even settled. As reported by Golf Digest, the PGA Tour determined that Bryan violated regulations requiring written approval before competing in any unsanctioned event, even those framed as charity matches, friendly games, or content creation. The alleged ties to LIV Golf reportedly complicated matters further. What shocked many observers most was how public the entire project had been. This wasn't a secret appearance or a quiet side deal. Cameras were everywhere, and the openness of the event only intensified the debate over how modern golf content collides with the Tour's rigid rulebook. The footage was public and the connections were no secret, with Wesley Bryan showing up smiling and clubs in hand, likely believing it was no big deal until it suddenly became one. The PGA Tour's response was described as swift and formal, with no press conference or public statement, just an official letter and a clear message. If an event is connected to LIV, even indirectly or through YouTube, it crosses a line. Soon after, Bryan's PGA Tour playing privileges were reportedly revoked, and when he addressed the news on X, formerly Twitter, he did so with his trademark mix of sarcasm and disbelief, underscoring how unexpected the situation had become. He made it official with a single bold post, announcing his suspension and joking that he hadn't planned on playing PGA Tour events the rest of the year anyway, instantly igniting the internet. NBC Sports later confirmed the suspension, and headlines quickly followed with phrases that sounded almost absurd but were very real, declaring that a PGA Tour player had been suspended over a YouTube match. In that moment, Bryan went from a lesser-known tour pro and content creator to a central figure in the ongoing PGA versus LIV debate, a twist that even he seemed not to have anticipated. What followed was an explosion of opinion, as fans, analysts, and fellow players weighed in across social media, transforming Bryan overnight from the lighthearted trick-shot golfer into a symbol of controversy surrounding loyalty, image, and modern golf culture. Depending on perspective, he either broke a rule or challenged an unwritten code, fueling a debate that many commentators argued went far beyond a casual exhibition and instead exposed the deeper tension within professional golf over branding, tradition, and choosing sides in an increasingly divided sport. Some fans rallied behind Wesley Bryan, calling the suspension excessive and unnecessary, while others criticized him for participating in an event reportedly tied to LIV Golf, arguing that it blurred the line between professionalism and content creation. One viral comment captured that sentiment bluntly. You don't get to play at the PGA's table and then show up at LIV's backyard barbecue, either in or you're out. What began as a lighthearted influencer match had clearly become something much bigger, placing Bryan at the center of one of golf's most heated debates. Beneath the backlash was a deeper frustration that has been simmering for years, as many longtime PGA loyalists view any crossover, even unofficial, as another erosion of tradition. At the same time, the rise of influencer golf has widened the divide, with traditional fans often disconnected from trick shots, mixed-up banter, and fast-paced YouTube edits. Bryan has always walked that fine line between tour pro and content creator, but this moment erased it entirely, raising a larger question about whether his suspension was truly about breaking a rule or about protecting the PGA Tour's image. True to form, Bryan didn't issue a formal statement or retreat from the spotlight. Instead, he took to social media with a sarcastic tweet announcing his suspension, a response that felt more like a declaration of identity than damage control. He has never fit the traditional PGA mold, known instead for creativity, accessibility, and a career that evolved from tour winner to digital creator. And now that very evolution has placed him squarely in the modern conflict between tradition and innovation, triggering chaos across golf's online world. Golf fans flooded comment sections, podcasts picked sides, and debate shows couldn't stop bringing up Wesley Bryan's name. Creators rushed to upload reaction videos, with some calling it the moment golf finally went full Hollywood, while others defended the PGA Tour by insisting that rules are rules and Bryan should have known better before stepping into an event with controversial ties. But the situation went far beyond one suspension. It exposed golf's growing identity crisis as the sport races to balance tradition with entertainment. An older generation still wants quiet crowds, muted colors, and respect for decades of tradition, while a new wave embraces microphones, camera crews, and content built for millions of online viewers. Bryan found himself caught squarely in the middle of that shift, and his appearance at the DS Miami became a symbol of the divide rather than a deliberate act of rebellion. As fans noticed other players participating in similar crossover events without the same punishment, questions about consistency quickly followed, leaving many to wonder whether the PGA Tour was making an example of Bryan or whether he was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Even insiders were split, with some arguing the decision drew a necessary line in the sand, while others believed the tours overreached by punishing a player trying to keep golf relevant for younger audiences. Through it all, Bryan didn't retreat or apologize. He leaned further into his creator identity, teasing new projects and hinting that he might tell his full side of the story on camera. Whether he reveals behind-the-scenes details or turns the controversy into a brand-building moment, one thing is clear: Wesley Bryan has become the face of a much larger conversation about where golf is headed. And while his competitive schedule may have slowed, his role in shaping golf's modern narrative has only accelerated, and that's exactly why people are so split on him. Some fans believe he's gone too far by teaming up with creators linked to Live Golf, while others see him simply adapting, doing what almost every modern athlete in 2025 is trying to do by building a brand beyond competition and scoreboards. According to ESPN, Bryan has often been described as one of the most down-to-earth personalities in the sport, approachable, funny, and genuinely connected to fans. But in a game built on tradition, breaking from the norm always stirs emotion. To some, he represents golf's future, where creativity meets competition. To others, he's a reminder of how fast sports culture is shifting. And that debate over brand loyalty versus evolution doesn't stop with him. Around the same time, reports surfaced involving one of golf's greatest legends, Jack Nicklaus, and an alleged connection to Live Golf, including claims that the lifelong PGA icon had been offered a massive deal, purportedly worth $750 million, to become a public face of the Saudi-backed league. Nicklaus's legal team quickly denied any wrongdoing, saying the reports were taken out of context and did not reflect his intentions or loyalty to the PGA Tour. But the controversy didn't end there, as further rumors spread online questioning the 85-year-old legend's health and ability to manage his personal affairs, highlighting just how volatile and unforgiving the current golf divide has become. But according to court statements and official records, Nicklaus's representatives made it clear that these rumors were unfounded and deeply misleading. In testimony and legal documents, his team refuted the claims point by point, confirming that while a meeting with representatives from Saudi Arabia had taken place back in 2021, no formal deal or agreement ever followed. For fans, this case became yet another reminder of how quickly stories can spiral in the modern sports media cycle, and how even legends aren't immune to speculation. Whether it's Wesley Bryan navigating the new era of influencer golf or Jack Nicklaus defending his legacy, one thing is clear: golf isn't just about birdies and trophies anymore. It's about image, media, and who controls the story. For anyone interested in real golf drama, behind-the-scenes insight, and the evolving clash between tradition and innovation, this is a storyline worth following closely.